Hakotamai, this is Dirshu Mishna Berurah as we continue Hilchais Birchais Kayanim, or more appropriately Nisia Yiskapayim Siman Kuf Chav Ches. We pick it up from Sif Beis. Says the Mechaber, Kol Kayin Chain by Echad Medvarim Ma'ak. Any Kayin that doesn't have one of the entities that holds back from Dochening, as we will see. If he doesn't go in Dochen, Afal Pishabita Mitzvah say Achas. Even though he was mivatel a positive commandment, he had the mitzvah like we spoke about yesterday, whether it's vani vavarchem, whether it's v'niskadashti, he has the mitzvah daraisa of dochning, and he's mivatel that. Hareze ka'oiver b'sholish aseh. So it's an interesting lashon of the Mechaber that even though he says you're mivatel one mitzvah, you're kit oiver, you're like you transgressed 3 mitzvahs. And the Mechaber continues as we turn over the page. If you're in the shul and you say Kohanim, so if you're in the shul, the Kohen's in the shul when it's a Kohanim, or someone tells him to go to Dochen, or someone tells him to go wash his hands and he does not, he's Ke'oiver Shalosh Aseh. So let's go into the Mishnah Berurah over here and let's understand. Sivkot and Zayin says the Mishnah Berurah. She'ein Abai Echad. Comments of the Mishnah Berurah at the beginning of the Sif that call Kayin if he doesn't have sin that's Ma'akiv. Obviously, coming to exclude, as the Mishnah Berurah explains, Kilikaman, as we're going to see, Siman Berurah Harabei Dvar Ma'akiv L'Kayin Alos Dochen. There's going to be a whole list of things that's going to prevent the Kayin from Dochening. Yesh mehan, one of them shein midaraisa lekama place. Yesh shein lekuli midarabanan. There's certain entities that deraisa. There's certain entities that are derabanan. And you points of cutting your base, which we will get to. Perhaps even today, ka'oiver b'shalish. Even though, so if he has nothing being ma'akev, he's over one essay and he's ka'oiver shalish. Says the Mishnah Berurah. Veho kaisev archu. Emar lahem b'samu es shemi. The 3 commandments that the Torah writes about Birchas Kayanim, he's as if he transgressed all 3. Umekol mak, but says the Mishnah Berurah, Ikar asay eino el achas v'hu kaisev archu. The Ikar, the main Iveira, is the fact that Hashem says kaisev archu and he does not. Shenamar b'lashet siva levracha, as Hashem said, as a commandment for the Kayanim to give a bracha. Kasu apa, he's keeping continues Mishnah Berurah in the Siyas Kapayim ein deichel eser toma. Siyas Kapayim is not deichel eser toma. Vatam, and the reason is there's a positive and a negative commandment. Parenthetically, he points in what are these two? Lenefesh lo yitama. Kohen is not allowed to come tamei, and kedoshim yiyu. The kohen has to be kadosh. So because the kohen is bound by positivity and negativity, kedoshim and lenefesh lo yitama. Therefore, Dochening will not override. And therefore, afilu meis pitom. Someone drops dead right after the Sheikh Sibur says Kain. So now we have these 2 entities that are opposing to the Kain. Does he go up to the Dochin or does he become Tomei? Right now is the mitzvah daraisa. Take evachutza. As they scream out, Kayanim arais, the Kayanim have to leave. Why? Because it's tum on the building. So even though at that precise moment he has the biblical mitzvah daraisa of Kaisav Archu, still the overriding Toma, Kedoshim Tiyu, and the Nefesh Lo Yitama wins, and he has to leave, and it does not touch him. The Makayin in the Yedem, he says, you got to tell the Kain. Me, however, this is next door. Could close the windows, the doors between the 2 areas. Then he's allowed to dochen. And obviously getting involved in complex dinim of Tumah V'Taira, that the fact that the Tumah is only coming in via the doorway, even though it is coming in because the doorways were not closed, and they only found out when the doorways were open, but that level of Tumah is only D'Rabban. However, if he found out before he washed his hands, it's better that he goes outside right away. And this is provided that he is there. Says the Mishnah Berurah, because if not, he doesn't go up to Dochen. Tersev, as the Torah says, Emor lahem, and we targum the translation of when the Pasuk says to tell the Kohanim, Kadi amrun lahain, go and tell them, kriyas koyanim shanu ayim, that is the kriya. So to realize that for whether it's a Sheikh Sibur or in Eretz Yisrael, Minig Ashkenaz, is that someone else calls out koyanim, that is a chilek of the mitzvah deraisa, of the emor lahem, a direct sivoy that the koyanim are not allowed to begin the bracha unless they're prompted by one saying koyanim. Heinrich Ponsiv Katan Yod, which we'll get to in a moment. Because of Magen Avraham, v'dav kishag ragla ba'avoid, avlam loyak ragla v'in arashi la'alois. If the kohen is in the middle of his own Shemona Esrei, he didn't take his steps back yet, then he's not able to be early. As we will get to. There's no Avera as he's in the middle of Shemona Esrei. Fascinatingly enough, he's mistabik. He should not be in the Beis HaKnesses at that moment. So it's true that, excuse me, I translated this incorrectly. Over here, Akar Raglov, does that mean he's in the middle of Shemona Esrei? I take that back, excuse me. Means Akar Raglov Avoida means that he has a psul for dochening. So since he can't dochen, as we see at the end of the Sivkot, the Mishnah Berurah is teaching us that he shouldn't be in shul. Why? Because then they're going to tell him he's a pagum, etc. We're going to get to this psul in Mirz Hashem, but we see also over here, very important, that the iser or the chiyuv to be d'oila, to go to duchening, is dafka if you're there when they yell out koyanim. If you're not there, you left shul for whatever reason, then you're not mevatel b'poyel, you're not proactively negating this mitzvah deraisa. Sivkot and yod hayom relay to wash your hands. That koy gam kain. Not if they tell you outside to wash your hands. Rak. Whether it's a din of the Emar Lahem, the Shatz yells at Koyanim, or whether someone else says, okay, it's time for duchening, or someone, the Levi, who's pouring the water, says, let me wash your hands. They're all a chilek of this daraisa of prompting the kohen to go and be oila l'dochin. They're transgressing if they don't go up. So before we go to Sif Gimel, let's take a moment over here to see the Dirshus, note number 15. Here we are. Let's get open over here. Let's get open. So we began with the dinim of this din of Tumah V'Taira, that once it began, you can't, that you would have to leave. A duchening is not noide, even in Bemsa Abracha L'Chayadam. Dirshu number 13 says, Yamtinu al Yatzim Miyad, you right away leave the shul. And note number 14 explains what's this Tumah D'Rabbanan, because the kohen's in a place where the Tumah is eventually going to come, basically as a chitzayni, and that's in word, Yeshu that is a Tumah D'Rabbanan, because I need the direction where the Tumah is going to go, contracts Tumah before it's even there. Soif Tumah Lotzis. Let's say the Shatz is a kohen, very interesting. In the middle of Tefillah, Rachmana litzlan, they find out that there is a mason close by a house. So we're going to see in Kuf Chavav, we officially saw in Kuf Chavav, that since the Tumah is Ba'ifid Zainal Midrabanan, don't tell the Sheikh Sibra and let him finish Shemona Esrei. But if you told him, then the Bir Halacha says it's machlekes whether you should stop in the middle of Shemona Esrei. We continue over here in Dirshu note number 15 that we're quoting the Mahar Mintz, who was mistapek. Amad be'emsa atfila yisavim shem amru lo lalois mechuyev. You have to get up to go up to Docha. It says the Mahar Mintz mechuyev rakim akar es raglam aparatzei. So again, I translated this twice incorrectly. I hope You didn't turn off the shir already just now. And now let's translate this correctly. So first time I said, you're in the middle of davening. That was wrong. Second time I said, there's a psal that we're going to see. That was incorrect. So what does this mean? This Akar Raglav is a din of Birchas Kohanim, that when the Shliach Sibur gets to Ritzei, the Kohanim have to be Akar Es Raglav, that are walking up to be Oila L'Dochen. Akar Es Raglav, they take that first step to go up to Dochen. Only once the Kohen takes that step to start, that's when he were seeing he's Nichlal in the Isser to not Dochen. And that's what the Mishnah Berurah was quoting, that perhaps if he didn't, meaning he stayed still, he didn't move at all, then maybe he's not maybe he's not included in this Isser of not being Oilas. That's what Akar Es Raglav means. Again, just to clarify, it means the Kohen taking that first step by Ritzei when the shots is up to there to go Akar Es Raglav to pick up his feet to go and Dochen. And we continue with Sif Gimel. Says the Mechaber, once you Dochen once, there's no Aveira even if they tell you to go up and Dochen again. Says the Mishnah Berurah, you're in another minyan, you're in another shul, and they're Dochening again. You do not have to Dochen again. You're already Mekayim the mitzvah. There's no more obligation. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Vada Sarlavak with Bracha Shekhan Shalar Sivanu, Vadi Venganu Bracha, Kapanamino, Kapanam Isa Mitzvah, he's getting a mitzvah deraisa. Filo Isa basic Knesset, Shkvar Nasa Kab of, still there is a mitzvah deraisa, and of course we see this as well in Eretz Yisrael, when you dochen at each tefillah, Shachris and Musaf, of course there's going to be a bracha by each and every one. So let's look at Dirshu number 18 over here, which quotes the Maimer Mordechai the Michas Chinuch, that they equate this to the mitzvah of tefillin. Even if you put on tefillin one time and you're already yaitse, if you put on tefillin again, avada, you make a new bracha on the tefillin. But let's say the first time you duched by yourself, and now there's another kain, then says the Concise Dirshu, there's a hiddur to duchen a second time. Why? Because the first time might not have been a mitzvah daraisa, as we'll see in a few, probably in the next year perhaps, if Katan Chav Gimel, because when your kohen is duchening by himself, it might not be begeded daraisa. So if at the next minyan, the next time the kohen is there are multiple kohanim duchening. Now the kohen says the Chayiv Nan, the Concise Dirshu as a hiddur to go and duchen again in order to be mekayim the mitzvah deraisa. Before we call it a day, let's look at Sif Dalid. Says the Mechaber Kshekoyanim Einan Roitzin Lalois Ladochim Einan Shrichel Nishis Chosabei Sekineses El Bishash Koyin Achazikanim. If the kohen doesn't want, that we pointed this out in Sif Beis, the diuk, that the issue only is if the kohen is there when they say kohanim and he doesn't go up and he's not Akar Es Raglav, or he begins to go up and he stops. But if you're outside the shul, you only have to be there at the moment they say kohanim. Aval Kidei Shaloi Yamru Sheheim Pegumim. We don't want anyone to suspect Kohanim to be pagum of being not kosher. The minog is that if the kohen is not dochening, he should stay outside from when they say kohanim until after birchas kohanim. So it says the Mishnah Berurah of Kotin Yud Beis explaining this. Let's say he's weak, elderly, he can't hold up his hands, so he can't dochen. So he walks outside, he stays there while they say Kohanim Medina and L'chumra until they finish dochening. Says the Magen Avraham, as we already pointed out, the interesting din and the chiyuv of Akar Es Raglav, which happens by Ritzei. So if he's not going to dochen, he has to leave before Ritzei. Vatam. So no one suspects he's in pagum when he doesn't get up by Ritzei. Also the Leviim don't tell him to go duchen. Again, which we saw creates a chiyuv al yarav. Someone is puzzled to dochen, then he doesn't have to go outside. Why? Because he's not allowed to dochen. Because when a chazi calls out kayanim, he's not having in his mind one who is puzzled, and therefore he would be allowed to dochen. He would be allowed to stay inside. Excuse me. V'skimu oid, and conclude the achrein the mishmur here is quoting El Stam, Magen Avraham, El Yerabah. The Bach is even my der Rakiv Eger. Tafilu mamrla befeirish alei. Oy, kishem bez yenz rak psulim. To be vadig with the Sheikh Sim Shekar Kanim Aleim. Meaning, if we know that the Sheikh Sim is having him in mind, either he tells him to go up, or they're all Kayanim that are psulim, afilu achi and Sheikhon Alois. Still, they don't have to go up. They ain't an Ayrim Basei. They ain't an Imami Tzaratzman. What should they do? Chachamim Manu Aisam Chazal Halacha dictated that they're apostle. So it's not that they're refraining. This is what their psak is. V'ishkoyach v'yadam nasa izad is a power to Chazal to do this. Mikol makam be'ein be'ein b'iskinetz ka'anim achirim rakilab psulim derabanan mitzad el rabba. If these are all Kayanim Psulim, then the Eli Rabbah says it would be better to go outside. If they're not there when they yell out Kayanim, the Chiyav is not Chal of them, even if they enter afterwards. However, we concluded this if that they shall wait outside until after the entirety of Berachos Kayanim. Why? Because we don't want someone to suspect the Pragumim, Sivkatin Yadalit, or Tzalaymar, B'nei Grusha, B'nei Chaluta, which are not let a dochin. We'll pick it up from Sifei in the next year, B'siyata Dishmaya.